A very warm welcome to TV47 News Updates on this 29th day of August 2022, a day that has seen various regions in the country and 8 counties, to be quite precise, having the post-election, or rather the election we're having the postponed election getting conducted. Of course, some of the stories that we're going to focus on TV47 updates this afternoon. Now, I'm being informed at the Milimani Law Courts we are having the petition case of the contested August general election getting to continue. So we now start off the bulletin by crossing over to the Milimani Law Courts and get to have the live scenes from the Law Courts
that have been filed by different parties. There are those who are asking to strike out the petitions. There are some who are seeking to be included as interested parties. There are those who want to be included as amicus curiae or friends of the court. There are some who are seeking different orders relating to the scrutiny of the votes. So these applications are being considered, and all the rulings will be delivered to the respective parties electronically. So we are going to have the hearings happen here at the Milimani Ceremonial Hall. All the 7 judges are expected to participate. Remember, in the last season, we only had 6 judges participating. This time round, we expect all of them to be present. We have some observers, judges from the Commonwealth countries, led by the retired Chief Justice of Tanzania, Honorable Mohamed Othman, among other judges who will be joining us. We will have the law clerks. The place has been set up for the law clerks, for all the court assistants, for the lawyers, the parties. Obviously, not everybody will be allowed to come in. We saw that the parties have large teams, but the numbers will have to be restricted because the space cannot accommodate everybody. We will also be allowing the parties to come in. The parties that will include the petitioners, the respondents, those who want to be present will be present. We are just asking that, I know that a lot of people want to come in, a lot of people want to participate and be present in court. This will not be possible. We are allowing the media to broadcast the information to the public. So if people can just listen from the comfort of their living rooms, it will help us quite a bit because we don't want to run into problems with crowd management. So all of us will have an opportunity to participate. We have extra space outside of the main courtroom. We have spillover. What's the right word? Yeah, for those who are not able to fit in, we have provided for extra space where you can just sit and follow through the screens. So tomorrow's session, the pre-trial of tomorrow, is starting at about 11 o'clock. It is expected that as at 11 o'clock tomorrow morning, all the rulings relating to the interlocutory applications shall have been delivered, so that the pre-trial session begins without any pending applications. I think, ladies and gentlemen, that's what we have so far. We have made sure that there is adequate security around. We have an ambulance in case somebody gets injured or somebody is taken ill during the process. So we are set and we are ready, and we just ask that you help us in terms of going by the guidelines that are going to be issued shortly in terms of the people that are going to be able to participate physically in the courtrooms. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you. My name is Kennedy Muridi of NTV, and one of the questions that is there is, in this ceremonial room, how many people are you expecting, and who will be given priority, even going by that? And number 2, probably you will tell it to the normal Kenyan, what does interlocutory application mean, and what is involved in a pre-trial chairman?
Okay, we are expecting that every team will be allowed only up to 4 lawyers. It is still being negotiated, and we're expecting that the guidelines will be provided anytime now. We're going to have about 11 observers. We are going to have about 8 law clerks and the entire legal team from the Office of the Chief Justice. They'll all be there, and of course all the parties will be allowed to participate. Interlocutory applications are applications that happen before the main hearing to sort out issues that a particular party would have an interest in. For example, if I want to join it as an interested party, that decision has to be made before we go into the hearing proper. If I want the scrutiny to happen in a particular way, I have an opportunity to do that before the hearing starts, so that once all those issues are sorted out, we minimize on interference when the main hearing begins.
How many are filed?
I'm not sure about the number, but I know that in total the interlocutory applications are roughly 20. There are those that want different things, so roughly 20. Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And those were the scenes a little bit earlier at the Milimani Law Courts, where we are having, or rather which is acting as the temporary Supreme Court, where we are having the petition of the presidential election results that had just been released. And that was an update that was being given out, regarding the petitions and the affidavits that are being rendered to the Supreme Court that is at the Milimani Law Courts. And still on the same breath of the general election. Now, just to give you a brief recap, now on the 9th August, we had the general election, but in 8 different parts of the country and 8 regions, the election was postponed. Now, the reason as to why this election in these 8 different regions were postponed is because of a mix-up of the ballot papers that was discovered by the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission. Now, just to take you through the different regions that the election was postponed, the 8 of them being, the first one being Mombasa County, then the second one was Kakamega County, then we had Kikuyu, we had West Pokot, and then we had Nakuru, Meru, and Nairobi. Those were the 8 different regions in the country where we had the election getting postponed. Now, to take you through the various seats that were being contested in the various locations that I've just talked about, maybe to start off with Mombasa County. Now, the seat that is being contested for in the election that is getting conducted, the process that started a little bit earlier today, the seat that is being contested for is that of the county governor. Now, all the voters in the constituency level are expected to vote, and in the county assembly ward also all of them are expected to vote. And the position that is being contested for is that of the county governor. That was the seat that was postponed, the election was postponed for. Now, moving on to the Kakamega County, the seat that, rather the election that was postponed and the seat that was being contested for was still of that of the county governor. On the constituency level, all the election had been conducted and everyone is expected to vote for the seat of the county governor. That is in Kakamega County. Now, to move on from Kakamega County, we also had Kikuyu County, where a specific region was postponed in Kikuyu County, and it is the Kikuyu rural constituency. Now, the seat that was being contested for in the election that was postponed was that of the member of the National Assembly, also known as the member of parliament. So that is in Kikuyu rural, where we had the member of the National Assembly position getting postponed, and that is exactly the position that voters are casting their votes on, and they are set to know who the member of parliament is going to be once elected in office and the results get announced. Now, the other region in the country was West Pokot County, where we had the election getting postponed, and the specific constituency in West Pokot County was Kacheliba and Pokot South. So those are two different constituencies in West Pokot County, that is Kacheliba and Pokot South. The seat that is being contested for in both of the constituencies are the members of the National Assembly. So the MP seat getting contested for in West Pokot County, two different constituencies, that is Kacheliba and Pokot South. Now moving on to the other region that had the election getting postponed, that is in Nakuru County. Also, it is basically a specific constituency that had the election postponed, and that is Rangai constituency in Nakuru County. Still, the position, or rather the seat that is being contested for, is that of the member of the National Assembly or the member of Parliament. Nakuru County, Rangai constituency, the seat that is being contested for is that of the member of Parliament. The other region in the country that had the election getting postponed was in Meru County. And here it was actually a constituency that is in North Imenti. But the seat in Meru County that was being contested for was that of the member of the county assembly. And the specific ward was in Nyaki ward, or rather Nyaki West ward. That was the member of the county assembly. In Meru County, the constituency is North Imenti, and the seat that was being contested for was that of the member of county assembly. The last region in the country that had the election getting postponed was in Nairobi County. The specific constituency in Nairobi County was Embakasi South. And the position that was being contested for was that of the member of the county assembly, in which ward the ward was the Kwanjenga ward. The Kwanjenga ward was the ward of the county assembly that had the election getting postponed, and the elective position was that of the MCA. So those are the regions that had the election getting postponed in the country. Talk about Mombasa and Kakamega counties. Those two, the seat that was being contested for was that of the county governor. Then heading on to Kitui, West Pokot, Nakuru, and Kitui, West Pokot and Nakuru counties, the seat that was being contested for was that of the member of the National Assembly, also known as the Member of Parliament. In West Pokot County, there were two different constituencies that had the election getting postponed. And, basically in West Pokot, that was the seat of the Member of Parliament that was being contested for. And the last two regions in the country that had the election getting postponed were in Meru County and Nairobi County. The seats that were being contested for were those of the member of the county assembly. And in Meru County, we had the North Imenti ward, in Nyaki West ward for the member of the county assembly seat. And in Nairobi County, we had in Embakasi South constituency, where we had the Kwanjenga ward, where the member of the county assembly seat was being contested for. Now, let's head back to some of the regions that we've talked about, because, some of these regions, among them being Mombasa County and Kakamega County, where we're having the county member, or rather the county governor or the gubernatorial seat election getting conducted. Now, just to have a look at Mombasa County and some of the gubernatorial candidates that are expected to go into the ballot. Now, Mombasa County has attracted a total of 8 candidates, among them being Abdul Somad Sharif Nasir of the ODM party. We have Hassan Omar of the UDA party, William Kingi of the PA party, Daniel Munga Kitsao, who is an independent candidate, Hezron Awiti of the VDP party, Said Abdallah of the Usawa kwa Wote party, and Shafi Makazi of the UPIA party, and then we have Anthony Chitavi of the UDP party. So 8 candidates contesting for the gubernatorial seat in Mombasa County. Abdul Somad and Abdul Somad Sharif Nasir, Hassan Omar, those two, of course, being considered as the main candidates in the Mombasa gubernatorial race. So a lot of people in Mombasa County considering the Mombasa gubernatorial race being a 2-horse race. Now, to give you an in-depth analysis of the two candidates in Mombasa, the Mombasa gubernatorial race, just to give you a profile of the two major candidates in the Mombasa gubernatorial race. One of them being Abdul Somad Sharif Nasir of the ODM party. Now, a brief profile of Abdul Somad Sharif Nasir. Well, he is a member of the National Assembly. He was voted in as the MP of Mvita constituency in the year 2013. Now, after becoming the member of the National Assembly of Mvita constituency in 2013, Abdul Somad Sharif Nasir also got to become the member of the Budget Committee. Now, on top of that, Abdul Somad Sharif Nasir was also a member of the Public Investments Committee, that is the PAC. And a little bit later on, from being the member of the PAC, he also got he was appointed as the chairperson of the Public Investment Committee, that is still the PAC. So that is the brief profile of Abdul Somad Sharif Nasir, who is one of the candidates of the Mombasa gubernatorial seat, vying on an ODM party ticket. Now, his fierce rival, that is the UDA candidate Hassan Omar. Now, just a brief profile on Hassan Omar. He is a member of the UDA party. Now, he was voted in as the senator of Mombasa County in the year 2013. Now, he was ousted in 2017 up to the current time. Now, between 2013 to 2017, Hassan Omar was the senator of Mombasa County. Now, he also became the gubernatorial candidate in 2017 under the Wiper Democratic Movement. And then he was also a senatorial candidate in Mombasa County in the year 2012. So that is a brief profile of both of the gubernatorial candidates in Mombasa County. Abdul Somad Sharif Nasir of the ODM party and Hassan Omar of the UDA party. Of course, most of the people in Mombasa County regarding that race being a two-horse race, like I stated earlier, the gubernatorial race in Mombasa County has actually attracted 8 different candidates. Among them, we've talked about William Kingi of the Power Party, Daniel Munga Kitsao, who is an independent candidate, Hezron Awiti of the VDP party, Said Abdallah of the Usawa kwa Wote party, Shafi Makazi of the Upia party, and Anthony Chitavi of the UDP party. Now, one name that is notably missing from that list is that of Mike Mbuvi Sonko, who is the former Nairobi governor. Now, he was opting, or rather he was contesting for the seat, but he was not cleared by the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, owing to the fact that he had been impeached as the Nairobi governor. So he was locked out of that race. That is why his name did not appear on the list of candidates in the Mombasa gubernatorial race. Now, remember, the other region in the country that had the election getting postponed was Kakamega County. The seat that is being contested for is that of the county governor. Now, four notable names come to the fore when you talk about the gubernatorial race in Kakamega County. The first one being Fernandez Barasa. The second name being Cleophas Malala of the ANC party. Then we have Boni Halwale of the UDA party, and we have Professor Philip Kutima. Now, remember, Professor Philip Kutima is the incumbent, or rather is the outgoing deputy governor of Kakamega County. He was deputizing the outgoing governor, that is Wycliffe Oparanya of Kakamega County. So the 4 notable names, that is Fernandez Barasa, Cleophas Malala of the ANC party, Boni Halwale of the UDA party, and Professor Philip Kutima, and who is the outgoing deputy governor of Kakamega County. Now, our reporters are stationed all across the country to bring us up to speed with the latest happenings in the country. Now, I'm being informed we're being joined by our reporter, our Nakuru-based reporter, that is Chichi Josephine, to fill us up on the latest updates from Nakuru County. Remember, the seat that was being contested for was that of the member of the National Assembly in Rangai constituency, Nakuru County. So we get to link up with Chichi Josephine. Good afternoon, Chichi Josephine. Kindly bring us up to speed with what is transpiring in Rangai constituency.
Yeah, Dennis, a very good evening to you. And I'm currently at Roret Nursery School here in Rangai constituency in Nakuru County. As you know, is that Rangai constituency elections were suspended and therefore scheduled for today. And as you can see here in this particular polling station, the number of voters who have turned up for this particular election is quite low. And Dennis, just to tell you, is that initially we were at Masinjeri primary, or rather secondary school, primary school, where also the situation there, the number of people who turned up for this particular election was very few. And also at Kiamunyi secondary school, it was similar, or the situation there was just similar. And just to tell you, Dennis, is that in Rangai constituency, we have a total number of registered voters to be 84,625. And also remember, we have 3 candidates who are contesting for this particular position. Dennis, who is the incumbent member of parliament, that is Raymond Moi of the KANU party. We have Luka Kigen of the CCM party, and we also have Paul Chebor of the UDA party. And Dennis, as you can see, this is the situation here at Roret Nursery School. Remember, this is stream 1, where, as you can see, of course, we have one person who is casting his vote there. And the process, or rather his exercise, has just been completed. And just to tell you is that the situation here, the place is quite deserted. Dennis, like I have told you, in 3 particular polling stations that I have been to, the situation have been just similar. No, it seems that there were voter apathy, of course, people having no interest to turn up for this particular election this time round. And therefore, Dennis, just to tell you with us, is that Raymond Moi, who is the incumbent member of Parliament, was making, or rather is making, his 3rd stab. Understand, he is in the KANU party. And of course, we have the former member of Parliament back in 2007 to 2013, that is Luka Kigen of the CCM party. And also, to tell you, Dennis, we have the former member of County Assembly, Paul Chebor of the UDA party. And of course, a stiff competition is expected between the two. That is the incumbent member of Parliament, Raymond Moi, and also Paul Chebor of the UDA party. And initially, Dennis, just to keep you posted, is that Raymond Moi, we saw Raymond Moi when he was addressing the press at the Masinjeri polling station, where he had issues, or rather he decried over elected members of parliament, or rather elected politicians turning up, or rather coming to the polling stations, where he had fears that they were coming to sway voters. And therefore, we also talked to the CCM, or rather that is Luka Kigen of the CCM, who also had this particular issue. And of course, understand that that is following the coming in of Nakuru East Member of Parliament, that is David Gikaria, who was, of course, rushed away by angry voters at the Masinjeri polling station, where they felt he had come there, of course, to interfere with the whole exercise, or rather the whole election exercise. Therefore, to tell you, Dennis, is that in Nakuru County, that is in Rangai constituency, of course, like you have seen, people have not turned up for this particular election. This is, we do not know the reason as to why, but of course, with the information that we got from the candidates, that this particular election did not, of course, they did not take time to, of course, sensitize the public concerning this particular election. And therefore, then, is just to tell you is that we've been to those different polling stations, and understand that Rangai constituency has a total number of 197 polling stations, and of course in 5 wards that are in Rangai constituency. Right from here, I will be headed to the main constituency tallying center, that is in Teachers, rather the TTC, where we shall be waiting, of course, for the counting of votes to just to know who emerges the winner, or rather who takes the day. Remember, like I have told you, 3 candidates are contesting for this particular position, that is Raymond Moi, the incumbent member of parliament. We have Luka Kigen of the CCM, like I have told you, and also we have Paul Chebor. I shall be able to traverse to different polling stations before we go to the main constituency tallying center, where I shall be able to, of course, bring to tabs of viewers to what will be happening here at Rangai constituency in Nakuru County. And of course, Dennis, right now, allow me hand over to you as you allow me to gather more information concerning this particular election that is being conducted here in Rangai constituency, Nakuru County. Over to you, Dennis. My name is Chichi Josephine.
And the most important bit to note out of that is that the election process is taking shape successfully. Everything is going on according to plan. But a little bit of information from Nakuru County is that earlier we saw MP-elect David Gikaria getting sent away from one of the polling stations. And definitely it is a situation that Chichi Josephine has definitely been following up on, and she will be updating us further on the election process in Rangai constituency in Nakuru County. Thank you so much, Chichi Josephine, for that comprehensive update. Now from Nakuru County, we get back right here in Nairobi County, where we cross over to Embakasi South constituency, where our reporter Moige William is pitching camp. Moige, good afternoon. Kindly bring us up to speed with what is taking shape in Embakasi South.
Well, good afternoon to you, Dennis, back in studio. Yes, we are in Embakasi South constituency, and to be specific, here at Kwanjenga Ward, where the people of Kwanjenga Ward are getting an opportunity to exercise their democratic right. This is after missing out during the 9th general election, whereby they were supposed to participate in all the 7 elective seats, but they missed out when it comes to the ward representative, and they're getting the opportunity to do so by electing a member of county assembly today here at Kwanjenga Ward. More than 30,000 registered voters. This is according to the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission statistics. And today here at Kwanjenga Ward, with residents coming out, though the turnout has been low, but they will be having an opportunity to choose their member of county assembly who will represent them at the Nairobi County Assembly, with more than 17 candidates in the ballot paper, and the people get to select or to choose their next leader who is going to represent them in the next 5 years. Well, we have set camp here since early morning, and what we have witnessed, quite a lot of dramatic scenes, especially here at the main tallying center. This is where the tallying center is, and if you can go closer, is some window panes were broken by unknown people who had stormed into this particular tallying center over claims that there was an unknown box with being brought by an identified person, and they wanted to know what was in that particular box which was being brought to the tallying center. And that is when some chaos ensued, but police tried to calm the situation, and voting exercise was disrupted for a while, but now normalcy has been restored here at this particular tallying center, which also, but for now, it is not a tallying center, it is a polling station. As you can see behind me, a beehive of activities, though minimal activities, whereby we have IEBC officials still on standby, awaiting for residents to turn out. It is not yet time to close these particular stations, the polling stations, more than 10 which have been set here, giving an opportunity to residents to come and exercise their democratic right. So IEBC officials, together with election observers, political party agents, and also IEBC officials seated here, all of them are waiting for residents to turn out. What we have witnessed is a number, very minimal people are coming out. I can say you can find in one polling station, you can see one. If it exists, it's 2 people who are at a particular polling station in a given time. We have not seen long queues as witnessed during the 9th general election. What we are seeing is slow by slow, little by little, people streaming in, not large numbers, 1 or 2 who are streaming in. And as you can see, currently here there is no one who is being served, as you can see. So IBC officials are on standby, but no one has come yet. We had expected that by noon maybe the number will increase, but the situation has remained the same as witnessed earlier in the morning. We can also move to the next polling station. Another polling station there you have, still no one is being served there. It remains just the IEBC officials, political parties, representative, agents, and also election observers who are still there. So the number is minimal, noting that this particular ward has over 30,000 registered voters, that is according to IEBC. But most importantly, security has been beefed up around this place because of the earlier chaos which were witnessed here at the polling station, which also serves as the tallying center of this particular ward. So if you are done with voting, what you are being requested is to move away from the polling station. So no one is allowed to idle around or move around or loiter around unless you're coming in to vote. And once you're done voting, you are requested to move out of the polling station, which later in the day where we are currently will be turned to a tallying center. Already some activities, a behavior of activities already taking place. Maybe you can move into the tallying center and we show you what is taking place right now. They have started setting up the tables, the projector. We have seen IBC officials moving in, bringing some of the tools which will be required during the tallying exercise. That is here at Kwanjenga ward. A quick reminder is more than 17, actually it is 17 candidates are in the ballot paper. So our residents of Kwanjenga, to be specific, Kwanjenga ward, will be having an opportunity to choose their next member of county assembly to represent them in the Nairobi County Assembly, with over 80,000 member of county assembly sitting in that place. Already preparation is taking place, as you can see here. This will be the main tallying center of Kwanjenga ward. There you have a display of the projector. So once the voting exercise is done and the polling stations are closed by 6 p.m., we expect the counting will start, and also tallying will begin from here, and this will be the tallying center here at Kwanjenga ward. But let's move out again. There you have it. Already preparations are taking place to set up the tallying center. But for us, maybe we are here, we have set camp, security has been beefed up, everything is now running smoothly, unlike before where we witnessed some chaos and skirmishes, but police have been restored, and also General Service Unit, that is a special unit in the Kenya Police Service, have been deployed to maintain order and also to ensure that peace is maintained here at Kwanjenga ward. So for us, we are keeping tabs on this story, most importantly on how the exercise will come to an end and when the tallying begins, and who will be declared the winner of this particular race at the end of the day. Earlier on, we were told by IBC officials by noon, the voter turnout was standing at 11%. So you can imagine, out of the 30,000 voters, it was 11%. Not quite a huge number, not quite impressive. But we hope that this number will go up. That is before the closure of polling stations, and that is when the tallying or counting of votes will commence here from Kwanjenga ward in Embakasi South. With that said, nothing much from our end. I will take it back to you, Dennis, in studio. But for us, we still continue to keep an eye on the status and also the progress of the voting exercise for now, before the tallying begins later in the evening. That is after the closure of the polling stations. More than 30 polling stations which have been set here in Kwanjenga ward. For now, over to you, Dennis, in studio. Dennis?
Well, quite an elaborate update right there by our very own Moige William, who's at the Kwanjenga ward in Embakasi South constituency right here in Nairobi. One important thing, he said that despite the chaos that was witnessed a little bit earlier, peace prevails and order has been restored. The election process in that specific ward is taking shape successfully. Now, from the Kwanjenga ward, we cross over to Kakamega County, where our reporter Violet Auma is on standby. Good afternoon, Violet. Kindly tell us what has transpired in the election process in Kakamega County.
Yeah, thank you, Dennis. Yes, I am in Kakamega County at Muliro Gardens polling station. A few cases of chaos are reported in Kakamega, in parts of Chilpak, and also in Mumias. But of course, we were able to talk to some of the leaders who reported the case. They were at the police station just trying to follow up the cases. We've been told there is a woman that was beaten up who who is alleged to be an ODM supporter. And probably before I give much details on actually what has transpired in many of the areas where we've been able to gather information about the election, let me just bring in Senator-elect Nairobi Sifuna. You've been around, you've done spot check in different parts of the polling stations. What have you seen so far? And we've also been told there are some pockets of violence in different parts. Is this something that also you have knowledge about?
I think largely the process has gone fairly peacefully. I have just come in from Malava constituency where I was the chief observer there for the party. And other than the low levels of turnout and allegations of voter bribery here and there, I think largely the vote has been peaceful in Malava constituency. So I am yet to touch base with the rest of my team to find out what has happened in the various areas. I was just here to speak to our agents here to see if there were any incidents recorded. I know that there were minor disturbances in the morning here, but largely I think the story of this election is that the people of Kakamega have been given an opportunity to vote their governor. It is unfortunate that they didn't get to vote with the rest of the country on the 9th of August, and I think that is what has affected turnout largely. But we still hope that their decision will be loud and clear. Yeah.
Okay, in Kakamega County, we heard about 60% who turned up for the 9th election. Yes. Currently, according to observation, what percentage are we talking about?
Yeah, in many of the polling stations that I visited in Malava, we are doing just slightly below 40% in Malava constituency. So we will have to see if the other constituencies have better turnouts. But as we speak, because I've just arrived here, and also to try and see how the turnout here in the town has been. But we are hoping that at the end of the day, still the will of the people of Kakamega will be loud and clear.
Talked of voter bribery. Is this something that it has been reported in Malava or other areas?
No, actually, it has been reported to us by many of our agents in various places. That in fact there are people who have been going around trying to bribe and buy voters at this particular hour, and we hope that the security forces and even the IBC, the commission themselves, can be able to deal with this question of voter bribery. I had my candidate speak in the morning as well, and that he had also encountered that. But at the end of the day, I think we are very confident as a political party because, in Kakamega in the general election, we got 48 out of the 60 MCAs, and we have 10 of the members of parliament out of 12, together with the women rep. So I really think that any result that does not follow that particular pattern would not be a result that is reflective of the position on the ground in Kakamega. Yeah.
Maybe your parting shot, especially to locals of Kakamega County, especially right now when we are almost ending the process.
Yeah, we have half an hour to go. In fact, as soon as you release me, you should be able to allow me to drive out the few remaining people who have not maybe voted, so that I can be able to bring them to vote. Because it is a very critical decision who you have elected as a governor of Kakamega. You know that the outgoing governor, the ODM governor, is one of the members of ODM that we are very proud of because of the record that he has set here. Even you people, when you've been moving around, you've seen the state of the roads in Kakamega, you've seen the infrastructure that has been built, you have seen the lovely stadium that he has built. And it really is important to the people of Kakamega to understand that you need somebody who's a serious person to be able to watch over the resources of the county and to continue the good legacy that Honorable Oparanya has left.
Okay.
Thank you.
So thank you so much. So that is Senator Nairobi Edwin Sifuna just bringing us to speed what has really transpired in those ends of Malava where he's been a chief agent, but also here in Kakamega Central, that is in Lurambi sub-county. As I said earlier, there was some issues that were raised, of course, with some of the leaders. We had Nakisi governor, who he's also one of the chief agents here in Kakamega County. He was at the police station with some leaders affiliated to Azimio la Umoja, complaining about the pockets of violence that has been reported in different parts of the county. And of course, in Mumias also, we've also received information that they had a few issues here and there. But as at now, everything has been, the peace has the police have already taken up the matter, and of course peace has been restored. And as you can see, I don't know if my camera person Odera can show our viewers, at most of the stations here at Muliro Gardens, we have a few people trickling in one by one just to get that opportunity to vote. We have people, probably they went to work, and you know, like today now they are just coming in. Some, of course, they had gone to their farms and businesses. We have mama mbogas around to just come in to vote. And of course, as Senator-elect, rather Senator Nairobi, Edwin Sifuna has just rightly put it, it is their constitutional right to elect their governor who they believe will be key in terms of ensuring that development trickles down to the grassroots, to the ward level here in Kakamega County. And of course, he also talked about the governor, Wycliffe Oparanya, who is the outgoing. He served his 2 constitutional terms. And so it is upon now the residents of Kakamega County to elect in a governor probably who will be able to fit in those shoes and ensure that it takes this county of Kakamega to another level. Maybe just to brief our viewers at TV47 is that here in Kakamega County, 1,682 polling stations were open as early as 6 a.m. and voter turnout wasn't that good. They had low turnout in various parts of the county that we have been in. We have toured, and I think, as he said, it is because, of course, it's taken like a by-election, and so many of them haven't turned up. But of course, some we've talked to. They believe that they will not even come to vote. We've had a conversation with some in the villages why they have not voted, and they're like, we can't even go vote because we know that probably they will decide someone else who we have not even elected. But of course, the issues of voter bribery is also something that we have received those reports, and police also, they have confirmed they have those cases that have been reported in their areas, but also the leaders that we've talked to as well earlier on, they say that they will still pick up the matter. Even after these elections, they will still pick up the matter and, of course, ensure that justice is served for people of Kakamega County by electing the governor of their choice. Dennis, I don't know if you have any questions, but if you don't have, then I'll have to take it back to you.
And that is Violet Auma, who's pitched camp in Kakamega County with a well-elaborate update regarding the election process in Kakamega County. Of course, the process continues to be successful. It's just about to be closed in a few minutes from now. Remember, the closing time of the election, or rather the voting process, should be at 5 p.m. Only in the case that it was delayed to begin is when time would get extended. Just a few details to remember. It is a 2-horse race, or rather regarded as a 2-horse race, in the Kakamega County gubernatorial race between Cleophas Malala of the ANC party and Fernandez Barasa of the ODM party. Malala was a member of the Kawi committee, which is regarded, or rather, regarded within the energy ministry. Also, he was a member of the Intergovernmental Relations Committee. And Fernandez Barasa was a member of the Chartered Professional Accountants, FCPA. He was also the chairman of the prestigious Institute of Certified Public Accounts of Kenya and the Director General of the Kenya Electricity Transmission Company Limited, KETRACO, in the year 2016. Now, from the Kakamega gubernatorial race, we cross over to County 001, that is Mombasa County. We're also having the gubernatorial race. Now, it is our reporter, Patronilla Goren, who is on standby. Good afternoon, Patronilla. Kindly bring us up to speed with what is transpiring in the election process within Mombasa County.
Thank you very much, Dennis Otieno from our Nairobi studios. And the latest from Mombasa County is that just few minutes to the closure of the polling stations as stipulated by IBC. We are still witnessing that there is very low voter turnout. Like at the moment, we are at Chandaria Hall here in Tononoka constituency, Tononoka Ward, Mvita constituency, and like what my camera person Brian Baraza is able
We do apologize for that technical hitch. I'm being informed they're trying to sort it out, and we'll be linking up a little bit later with Petronila Goren to bring us up to speed with the election process taking shape in Mombasa County. I'm also being informed we've actually gotten to link up with Petronila Goren, and maybe we get to listen to the updates from Mombasa County.
The tallying starts and they're able to start transmitting results. And, just to Mombasa, gubernatorial election was just postponed, just like Kakamega, 4 other constituencies and 2 wards in the country as a result of errors and mix-up in ballot papers. And as a result, the electorates have come out today to exercise their democratic right. Just to remind our viewers is that Mombasa County has 7 candidates that have been vying for this position. And among the 7 candidates, we have Abdul Swamad Sharif Nasir of ODM. Under the Azimio coalition, we have Hassan Omar Hassan of UDA. Under the Kenya Kwanza coalition, we have Dr. William Kingi, who is the current deputy governor for Mombasa, who is vying on party. Also have Nyali constituency member of parliament, Hezron Awiti, under VDP. We have Daniel Munga, who is an independent candidate. We have Shafi Makazi, who is vying on Upia ticket. And we also have Said Abdallah of Usawa Kwawote. And so all these candidates are battling it up to clinch the top seat for the county. But we have competition is expected between 2 candidates, that is Hassan Omar Hassan of UDA and Abdul Swamad Sharif Nasir of ODM. And we've seen various leaders from different political coalitions, that is Kenya Kwanza and Azimio, in town. Earlier on, we did speak to a number of them. We spoke to the outgoing women rep from Rangai County, Sabina Chege. We've also spoken to the outgoing women rep for Laikipia, who is Kate Waruguru, and a number of leaders that are in town who are saying that they're working or they're participating in this election as agents, and also what they claim as safeguarding the votes. So they all were urging voters to come out and vote during the day. They were all emphasizing and encouraging them to come out and exercise their democratic right. But nevertheless, we've seen that there's been low turnout in most places that we've visited in this county. And we're hoping that by the end of the day, we'll be able to know how many people turned out to vote. Remember, Mombasa has slightly above 641,000 voters, registered voters as per the IEBC register, with 6 constituencies, 30 wards. So at the end of this evening, Dennis will be bringing this up. My colleague Joash Onsare is also in town and is in Kisauni constituency, and we will be hooking up in the evening just to bring a comprehensive coverage of this election at our subsequent bulletin, that is at 7 and 9 p.m. For now, Dennis, back to you in studio.
Well, thank you very much, Petronila Goren, for that elaborate update. Remember, Petronila Goren is pitching camp in Mombasa County, where we're having the gubernatorial election, or rather the gubernatorial race, getting conducted. Now, for the purpose of clarity, let's have a bit of a recap of the postponed election that is currently taking shape in various regions across the country. Now, as of August 9th this year, the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission got to postpone the election in 8 different regions in the country. One of them being Mombasa County. We also had Kakamega County, Kikuyu County, West Pokot County, Nakuru, Meru, as well as Nairobi County. Now, there are different seats getting contested for in the 8 regions in the country. In Mombasa and Kakamega County, it is the gubernatorial seat that is being contested for. Now, in Kikuyu, West Pokot and Nakuru counties, it is the member of the National Assembly, also known as the Member of Parliament seat, that is getting contested for. And in Meru and Nairobi counties, it is the member of the national, or rather the member of the county assembly seat, the MCA seat, that is getting contested for. And a little bit of a development that took place a little bit earlier in Kakamega County, where Kakamega County Governor Wycliffe Oparanya has strongly denied rumors on the internet that he has asked the residents of Kakamega to vote for the gubernatorial candidate under the ANC ticket, Cleophas Malala. Oparanya has said he has submitted the complaint to police officers and that they are currently carrying out investigations to determine who hacked his Facebook account. Oparanya, however, asked the residents of Kakamega to turn up in large numbers to exercise their democratic right and vote, noting the low voter turnout in the area earlier today.
I'm not such a type of person. Obviously, someone hacked my Facebook, and I think someone has been dealing with it, and action will be taken. The person who did that is known, and action is going to be taken against him in accordance to the Cyber Act of 2020. It's not applicable only to here. It is general, the whole county. I can tell you that Lukuyani, at the moment, only 10% have turned up. Here is at least better, 17% have at least turned up. So I know this is being treated as by-election, and what happened in the presidential vote actually has affected people's spirits. Most people have not come out because they believe that they vote for the people they want, but the end votes are stolen.
And moving on, 5 years after being formed, the Africans Rising Movement is holding the largest convention since its inception in Arusha, Tanzania. The three-day conference, hosting delegates drawn from the African continent, aims at addressing political and economic matters affecting Africa as a continent. Our reporter, Flora Limoki, is in Arusha, Tanzania, and now joins us live. Flora, what are the lookings at from this conference?
The All-African Movement Assembly is holding the largest conference after 5 years of formation here in Arusha, Tanzania. It is hosting 750 delegates drawn from all the African countries. And perhaps to get more, shed more light on what to expect for the next 3 days, I am joined by Lamin Muhammad, who is a regional coordinator for this specific event. Good afternoon. Welcome to TV47. Introduce
Thank you for having me, and thank you for coming to cover this. So I'm Mohamed Lamin Sedikan, the movement coordinator of Africans Rising for Justice, Peace and Dignity.
What do we look forward to hearing from this specific conference for the next 3 days?
Great. I think the conference has already kicked off. We've had about reflections and recalling on the Kilimanjaro Declaration, which is the founding charter of the Africans Rising movement. And we look into the current issues that Africa is faced with, the challenges that Africans are faced with, and then how do we map out solutions, African-based solutions, to deal with these issues. The day will also look into, recalling on the work of Africans Rising in terms of implementation of the declaration, some of the successes, some of the challenges, and as well looking into the future of how this movement will deliver the United States of Africa, but also how will it deliver the liberation of Africa, accompanying the journey of Africans wherever they are to live with life of dignity, life of peace, and life with justice.
This movement was formed 5 years ago. What, perhaps in a nutshell, tell us what have you achieved so far, the greatest achievement for the Africans Rising?
The Africans Rising movement success actually is the success of the grassroots movements, because the movement is set to support, amplify, connect, build solidarity across issues and across African people. So we support the struggles of African people. But I can name some of the successes of our movements out there. The Gambia Revolution, when the dictator Jammeh refused to step down, the Africans Rising sent in a solidarity mission, to support movements on the ground, to put pressure on the government through movements like Gambia have decided, we are supported and we are able to deliver some great success of revolution in Gambia. Again, DRC Congo have been faced with brutal dictatorship. The Africans Rising movement supported the movements across DRC to have one common agenda, to have unified force, to help transition into a democratic state. Africans Rising movement have been supporting and campaigning and connecting with grassroots movements across. When activists are under attack, Africans Rising is the home for them. We have been supporting and campaigning for activist campaigns like release of activists. In 2019, when COVID hits Africans and the world at large, we campaigned and asked African governments to release activists and journalists who are in jail. About 90,000 activists and journalists were released with those campaigns. The Africans Rising movement have also been growing across Africa. We are now in all the African countries, members in across African countries, and as well in diaspora. Right now, the movement is in about 190 countries globally where Africans are. We also respond to Africans in crisis. The recent Ukraine and Russia war, Africans Rising have been supporting and then helping Africans in crisis, and then giving them all the basic support that requires them to live with a life of dignity in that crisis moment. Actually, the movement have also been, advancing its membership. Right now, the membership is in over 30,000 members, over 1,000 organizations that are in the movement that are members of the African Rising movement, and it's giving hope to Africans that it's possible for us to unite, for us to liberate ourselves, and for us to advance the unification of Africa.
And maybe finally, what is the objective of this conference this week?
Yeah, this conference is actually bringing us together to reflect on our journey so far, but also to see whether our document, our declaration, is still fit for value or fit for purpose, but also is taking us to think, faster and better, how do we unify Africa, but also taking strategies around, strategic issues that we need to deal with. The issue of One Currency Africa campaign, the issue around Borderless Africa, the issues around, how do we tackle with economic justice issues. The movement actually is bringing people together to find solutions to their issues. And then also in that way, we also trying to see how we can ignite and reinforce the solidarity that Africa needs to be able to win the struggles faster and better.
Okay, thank you very much. It is a conference that will be going on for the next 3 days, and the aim is to discuss pertinent issues affecting the Africa continent as a whole. And top of the list is championing for the African currency. That is, if European countries can have their own currency, in the words of Kumi Naido, why can't the African continent have its own currency? My name is Flora Limuki, Arusha, Tanzania.
Well, thank you, Flora Limuki, for that comprehensive update. Now we move on, where Senior Magistrate at Kikuyu Law Courts, Catherine Boro, has directed the police to exhume the bodies of one Liam Kichuhi and Valeria Muthoni and conduct a fresh postmortem exercise in a case involving a suspected minor serial killer in Kikuyu sub-county. The magistrate has further granted the police 14 days to conduct further investigations and mental assessment of the accused, with the accused set to remain in remand at Kabete Children's Remand Home for 14 days. The matter came into public eye yesterday following the confession of the suspect as having killed 3 of her siblings and a 20-month-old cousin in a span of 1 year. The case will be mentioned next on the 12th